Right, thanks for coming, folks. This is part of a webinar series. This one is on super simple box office, which is the built-in bit of Eventotron that deals with ticket sales and getting your shows on your website, and also in-person sales, everything along those lines. We've got a couple of people new to Eventotron, so just as a super quick introduction. Eventotron is a system that works all around the world. We've got loads of artists and festivals and venues registered with us, and it's a place where everyone can come together, and artists and venue managers can submit their information to festival managers to take care of and get oversight on. And then once a festival has gathered all the information they need from their participants, they can use Eventotron to do loads of stuff like print brochures or do contracts, just do general reporting. And what we're going to focus on today is kind of the box office and website bit of that. We had some nice feedback just this morning, so I thought I might as well put that in there. People being nice about Eventotron, which is always good. Super simple box office, why we built it and why you don't have to use it. I'll deal with that second bit first. So previously, we always said Eventotron is sort of box office agnostic. We collect all the information from everyone, schedules and the festival managers schedule everyone's performances, collect blurbs and images and all that kind of stuff. And then if you want to push that to a box office system that you happen to be already using, we'll try and help you with that as much as possible. There's built-in export tools which should be able to help you with that anyway. So we're going to continue that. We're not saying to everyone you have to move to super simple box office. We just built it because we thought there was a need, because we saw one of the most difficult things clients had to deal with was getting that data from Eventotron into their box office and mostly kind of keeping it in sync. And then when you add to that a website as well, which might also come out of sync, we thought we could solve all that. So just as a little graphical demonstration of that, clients would have their website, they'd have an audience that wants to use the website to buy tickets. Typically, that website will be fed with information that was collected in Eventotron, had been passed to a box office, and then was passed onto the website. That's reasonably simple. However, in reality, it doesn't quite work that way because most box offices can't provide the sort of rich information, whether that's images or just the sheer customizability of Eventotron. Clients would find there was stuff in Eventotron which they couldn't pass through the box office to the website. So Eventotron also had to talk to the website. The website then had to talk back to the box office, and the box office had to talk to Eventotron. Complicated. It actually is more complicated than that in a lot of situations because clients have a main website and a ticketing website. So all of that had to talk to each other. And then when you finally add in the fact that a lot of box office solutions will have a separate reporting website that artists had to learn how to use, which also had to join this merry-go-round. So the point of super simple box office is to take all that out of it and give clients a really simple setup and deal with a lot of the nitty-gritty for you. That is why we built super simple box office. So the key things about super simple box office, it's really easy to set up. It runs on your own website, so you have control over what it looks like, and you're not sending people off to different places. It's always in sync with Eventotron. There's only one place where you have to update information. You've got complete control over what content is presented on your website. Like if you suddenly remember that you've forgotten to include trigger warnings on your website or a warning about audience interaction, you can do that. You don't have to speak to your website developer to do it for you. There is little to no developer cost. You can do all this yourself. Most clients, some clients do. One who's integrated super simple box office did it all in-house, and they're the one that probably did the most graphical reinterpretation of it. So it's not difficult to do, but we do suggest you might want to have a friendly developer on hand just to make it look more like your branding or to do any little tweaks you want to. It's all very WordPress centric, so it's not particularly specialized knowledge. And actually, it's more about a designer than a hands-on developer. So it's much more affordable that way. The cost of Supersonic Box Office itself, it's built into Eventotron. There's no extra charge to use it. It just costs 10p per ticket sold. Free tickets there's no charge for. Despite its name, Supersonic Box Office, we think it's now actually a really full-featured box office solution. Membership schemes, gift certificates, holds, special tickets, reporting, it's all in there, and it's all quite powerful. And it's easy for your artists to understand because any interaction they have with like sales figures is in Eventotron where they've already gone to register their show in the first place. That's the key things. So how do you get Supersonic Box Office up and running for your organization? 3 ways really. The main one is the WordPress plugin. If you have a WordPress website, we send you the plugin, you install it, and you're off and running. If you don't have a WordPress website, we can set you up a microsite, which basically means we'll host a WordPress site for you. We'll make it look as much like your existing site as possible. And that works. It's a little extra step, but we can make it fairly transparent that people are hopping back and forth to different sites and it doesn't affect them too badly. And thirdly, if you've got your own website and you've got a friendly developer, you can roll your own integration, but obviously that's much more developer intensive. So we're going to focus today on the WordPress plugin, which is the most common way to use Supersonic Box Office. And just another nice bit of feedback there from a guy who works with a lot of festivals. So next few slides, I'm just showing you examples of clients that are using Supersonic Box Office and the WordPress plugin. This is to show you the kind of features that we'll see in more detail later, but also to show the flexibility of it and how the look and feel can be very easily customized. So it's just show listings. There's a built-in map view. That's some Stockholm there. Yeah, so all these, the way these look different is all done with just CSS changes, if that means anything to you. It's not full-on developer work. This is the one that was done mostly in-house by staff at the festival. You can see they've made it look very, very different to other clients. Just an example there, the kind of, you get videos and images in there, things like those. You might also like things that's automatically done by the plugin. Pages for venues, calendar views, and of course it's all very website friendly, very mobile friendly rather. So enough talking about it, let's show you how it works. So what I'm going to show you now is starting with a festival that's been built in Eventotron. So you've had your artists, you've had your venue managers come in, they've submitted all information, you've lined up your dates, times and prices, and your festival's more or less ready to go. For those of you who don't use Eventotron yet, there's a webinar from earlier on in this series which it shows you just how you set up a festival and how you start getting artists and venues to provide you with information. But yeah, so what we're going to show you, some clients have told us that they get their festival in Eventotron and the process of getting it out of Eventotron into their other box office provider and onto their website and all proved and approved can take literally weeks. One festival, Philadelphia, said it's even like a month of work. We're going to do this now in, I think it's 7 minutes, but that's including time for me to wiggle on. So we're in Eventotron. We're going to use our example festival. This is just a small festival, kind of, I think we've got 14 finalized shows that we're going to push through to the website. They're all set up, ready to go. We've always set up venues as well, so those shows have performances scheduled in the venues. This is a small example, but obviously people like Vaults and Brighton, there's 500 to 1,000 shows, so it works at scale. So any data you have in Eventotron, you can push through to the website. So it's just a very quick example of how you would do that. So we decided here that we want our audience interaction question to flow through to the website. So we just tell our info collection section that it appears online, and we give it a little name so we can recognize it easily. Similarly, we want the age suitability to pull through as well. We're just saying appears online, and we'll just call it ages. Save that, and then the only other thing you need from Eventotron is an API key. This is our example festival, so we've generated loads of these for people to play around with. You probably will start with none, so to create a new one, you just give it a name and say generate. For this example, I'm just going to take that one there. And that's pretty much all you need to do in Eventotron. So now we'll go to a little test website that we set up for Example Festival. This is a more or less empty WordPress site. We've tasked up the front end a bit so it looks pretty. But you'll see there's no content on there. Those buttons don't do anything. This is the back end of that website, standard WordPress stuff. The only thing we've done in advance for this demo is we've uploaded the plugin. So you would ask us for that, we'd email it to you, and you just click add new in WordPress and upload it. So we'll activate that, and you'll see that gives us the Eventotron section there, and it also generates what are called custom posts. So that's ready to populate with events and venues, merchandise, all the stuff that you'll pull in from Eventotron. So to the Eventotron plugin settings, where it says Eventotron API key, we're just illustrating here. There's a button there that will pull in some basic templates for you and little icons that you might like to use for like venues or times and things like that. So we put our API key in there, we validate that. And it's found our example festival, so it's all talking to Eventotron correctly. Only thing we have to do is just tell it which of our questions in Eventotron line up with the standard things that it needs. So the event image, the website copy, and the genre. So those are all fields in Eventotron. Save those options. And you'll see there, it's found some merchandise that we've built in Eventotron that we might want to sell. And these are the shows that are ready to go on sale. So all we have to do is click import selected events. And that actually, once it's worked through that, is pretty much all you have to do. We're going to follow this demo through to actually buying a ticket so you can see the full thing. We just wait for that. Okay, those shows are imported. So if we go back to our festival website and have a look at the shows page. Sorry, refresh the page. So we can see there that we've got our shopping basket appeared, so we know everything's working. There's a login there. We won't deal with customer accounts today, but we will do in a forthcoming webinar. But there's all our events pulled in. Very basic search and information at the moment, but I'll show you how we build that up. Let's go into have a look at a show. Buy tickets. 2 ticket prices. Update our basket. You see there in the basket you can do upsells. So in that case, we're trying to flog a drinks voucher, but that could be merchandise, t-shirts and mugs, or maybe ticket insurance, things like that. I'm going to show you a couple of different events that have slightly different ticket setups just to show you the sort of flexibility. So this show is allocated seating. So it has a seating plan, fairly simple one. You see there's 1 ticket sold there, but even with a allocated seating, you have multiple types of ticket. So we'll just buy a concession for that show. Update the basket. You'll see it's working out booking fees. Booking fees are entirely up to you. This festival set up to charge a £1 per ticket booking fee, but you can have different tiers or a limit. This is a pay what you want show, so that starts with £10 default and a £2 minimum. Obviously the show, or you can set that. So we'll just pay £3 for that ticket. So in our basket, and we'll just the final one is just a free show. And you'll see from the booking fees, 4 shows but only a £3 booking fee. That's because there's no booking fee on the free tickets. Again, there can be if you want there to be, but the flexibility is there. You can ask your customer for a donation and set a default. And for UK people, we can put in things like the gift aid notification. So at the checkout, put in our customer details. You can ask audience questionnaires down there. We won't cover that in detail today, but you might want to ask about access requirements or things like that. Proceed to payments. Put your card in there. Depending on what device the customer's using, Apple Pay and Google Pay are available. These are my credit card details, so do with them as you see fit. Probably should have blurred that out. But there we go, that's it. So that is going from a festival in Eventotron to on your website and selling a ticket in about 7 minutes. And that's the email that's sent. That's a customizable email. You put your sponsorships in there, terms of the visit, directions, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's taking a festival, getting it on sale and selling a ticket very, very quickly. But as we saw, what we saw on the website through the plugin was quite basic. So I'm going to show now how you can build that up a bit and pull in the information you need. The key thing being you can do this yourself. As I said before, if you realize that you need to include contact warnings that you don't have, so often we hear from clients who say we have to contact a web developer who has to schedule time and it gets expensive. With this, anything that's in Eventotron is available to you to put in. So this result tile, sorry, we call it a result tile, those things that come up in the search. What we're going to include there is a date. There's a little bit of control there over what it looks like. If you have experience with CSS, you can make it look any way you like. And I think we're going to put the genre in as well on those result tiles. What I should say in this demo, I've not paid much attention to making it look pretty. I'm just showing you the ability to put the information in there yourself. So refresh that, and now the result tiles come through with the first date of the show and the genre. Actually realized I didn't want the first date, I wanted the date range there. So we'll just go back to the plugin settings and change that. Yes, instead of first date formatted, I want date range. So all these things in the list here are fields from Eventotron, plus a few that we generate for you. Just drag and drop the order you want to appear in on the result tile. Save that and refresh. And there we go. So we've got the full date range and the genre. So that's a very simple example, but here's some real life examples of clients who are using that and how they've made their tiles look. So you can include the blurb maybe, or a cut down version of the blurb, tags for the genre, all that sort of thing. In a similar way, in the event pages themselves, you can customize those. So if we go into a show, there's various zones on that page that you can add content to. So under the title, we're showing the company and that date range. There's an area there for maybe social icons that you can put things in that sidebar there. You can put them below the blurb, and you can also customize the list of performances. So back to plugin settings, we're looking at our event template. And let's get the header. So as I said, company name and date range. Social, so those ones, that show we just looked at happen to not have supplied a Facebook page, but if they had, they get a little F icon and it would link straight to their profile. Same with Twitter, but obviously that could be Instagram or TikTok, whatever is popular at the moment. And then the sidebar, we're showing there's a little title there, and then we're showing duration, the price, and the genre. But let's pop in the audience interaction that we set up right at the start of this. We'll say what style we want it to be. This would just say yes or no. We don't want that. We just want it to say audience has audience interaction. So we'll just make that the label. and then we won't actually display the yes or no. So if the answer is yes, it will say has audience interaction. If the answer is no, it just won't appear. And while we're here, let's put in the country. We'll give a label to that. And then the last thing, for this festival, we happened to collected a bunch of videos from our artists. So we're going to drop that in below the main blurb as well. So the field was called video link. We're going to tell it it's a video, save that. So now if we go back to the website and refresh it, further down, as I say, not paying much attention to what it looks like, but this show has audience interaction and the country it's from is UK. If we find a show which has a video, we can see how that's come through. They've helpfully included an Eventotron demo video. So I think the last thing I'm going to show you here is just how to customize these date lines here. At the moment, we're just showing a price and the venue, I think one other thing. So we can customize that in our performance list template. So yeah, we've got the date and the time and the venue. We're going to include the concession price as well. So let's put that in column 3. You can see there's lots of different pricing available depending on how you set up your shows, but in this case, we're just going to take the simple concession. But if you wanted to like show your special offer price or your school group price or something like that, you could do in the same way. Obviously, once someone goes through to buy tickets, they see everything, but all the different tickets available. But for that list, you might just want the full price and the concession. So we'll give them labels so that people know what they are. Save that and go back to the website. There we go. The tile now shows the full price concession. Also just pointing out that where it pulls through the venue, that's clickable to a venue page, which in the same way as show pages, you can include as much information as you want. Just so happens we haven't on this one. But again, you can pull stuff through all the access information that you need from Eventotron. And again, all customizable in the same way as you would an event page. Okay, so we've added a bit more detail to the search results and the show pages, but that search was still pretty bare. We've got a venue, you can filter it by keyword, venue, or genre. But you can also take any field in Eventotron and turn that into a search filter. So again, we're in our event template. We're going to look at our filter options. We're going to turn on a when filter, which will show us a calendar. A where filter that enables geographical searching. So you can put in a postcode or even a street name or a town, depending on the spread of your, or maybe a suburb, depending on the spread of your festival. It will show results based on how far away they are. Yes, we want a map view. And then in these custom filters here, this is where if you've got a field in Eventotron that you want to become a filter, this is where you add it in. You can have up to 8. So let's use the age filter that we set up earlier. Give it a label. And we'll make this a multi-select. You'll see how that works shortly. So you can have up to 8 of those, but also we have this advanced search, which is basically a selection of tick boxes, which again are based on anything you have in there. So that first example there is the price. So if the price is free, show when people tick that box. We've got other, looks like accessibility options. It looks like if you want to search for an accessible toilet, you can. So let's use our audience interaction field. Audient, we called it, I think. So if audience direction is true and someone ticks that box, those results will be returned. So let's go back to the website and see how that actually works. Refresh it. Okay, so we've got our when and where filters at the top, which gives us a calendar. You can choose a show based on a date. All the searching and filtering happens as you do it, so it's all pretty quick. Where, that's where you enter location to search based on that. We've got our keyword search and our venue and genre already, but then there's our age suitability, multi-select, so we can select multiple answers and get the results. So I want to search for shows that are 16 years plus and 4 years plus apparently. And there's the results. This is our advanced search. So I can search for free tickets or shows which include audience interaction. You've got 6 columns there, basically. We're only using 3 at the moment, but you can build up, obviously, quite a lot of filters there. Access is quite a common one to filter on. Maybe if you have special kind of sub-festivals. Change the order that the results come back in. Default is by next one up, but you can just search alphabetically if you prefer. There's a map view. Looks like one of these shows is in America and the rest are in the south of England. But yeah, so again, that's all just built into the plugin, so the map view is available to you. So that's how you can build up a lot of different search options. So we'll leave the website for a second and have a look at how what you can do with special offers and special types of tickets. So back in Eventotron, most of your setup, if it's not to do with what the website looks like, will happen in Eventotron. So we've got this box office SSBO section. We won't look at all these sections today, but let's just look at special tickets. So we've already set up some clearly, so VIP, school group. But let's say we're going to set up a 2-for-1 offer. It's really easy to put it in, and it's really easy to apply it to multiple shows at the same time. So it just needs a name, a code, and then a audience-facing description if you need to tell the audience member a little bit more about what it does. It's a 2-for-1 offer. So the way we're going to set it up is we're going to adjust the price of the tickets by 50%, but say you have to buy them in pairs. So the price adjustment can be a percentage, it can be a number, or it could be a minus number. So your ticket might be like -£2, or if it was ticket and a drink, maybe you might do +£3, something like that. There's lots of different types of ticket you can set up this way. Some options further down about how you get that offer. We're not going to put any restrictions on this. We're just going to say this show's doing this offer at the moment, so it's available. So in terms of then so we saved it and then we add it to the shows that we want to. You can filter this list so you're only adding it to the right ones. You can add it to a whole show at a time, or you can add it performance by performance to a show. So we'll add it to this wonderful test show. And there's another one to add to, I think. Yeah, let's add to Fake Test Musical. So that's it. Save that. Have a look at the website. When we go to buy tickets, we should see there's a 2-for-1. So it was originally £3. The 2-for-1 is now at £1.50. Should say, by the way, this demo is obviously in pounds, but if you're in a different country, it automatically does the pricing in your currency. Okay, so I'll just show one more offer that we might set up. Let's say that we're going to offer all our members tickets for £1 across the board at our very affordable festival. But we're going to restrict this to a promo code. There's lots of different ways of doing this. Actually, there's a more sophisticated way whereby you can tag a customer, and if they log in, they get access to this. But we're not going to deal with customer accounts today, so we'll just do it with a really simple promo code. So all tickets are going to be £1, and we're going to restrict access do a promo code. And we'll just make the promo code member. And we're also going to make sure that people, our counter sales staff, can always sell this if they need to. And we're going to apply that to the whole festival, which is super easy to do. And it's all. Okay, so members can now get £1 tickets to every show in our festival. If we just flick back to the website, we can show you that. So we've still got our 2 for 1 there, but if we now enter our promo code of member and apply, we get the option to buy a members only £1 ticket. Okay, holds and comps and artist self-service. So one of the nice things about Eventotron is it allows artists to assign their own complimentary tickets if you let them. Obviously, as the festival manager, you can do that yourself. In Eventotron world, comps are issued from holds. So holds are a means of just setting aside a certain number of tickets for whatever purpose. So we're going to set up 2 holds. We're going to set up a press hold, and only season or festival managers are allowed to access to give tickets from this hold. We're going to keep them off sale so that we can't run out of them, but we're going to release that hold 15 minutes prior to the show, and we're going to hold back 4 tickets per performance. So save. And similar to how you apply a special ticket, we're just going to apply that hold to all the shows. Really easy. And the next hold we'll create is an artist's friends and family. So this will be available to artists, but we're going to make this available to sell. So what this basically means is it won't stop the box with selling those tickets, but they are there for the artist if they get there first. You see what I mean? So you don't have to take them off sale to offer the artist a chance to do that. A shared hold is spread across the run of a show. So if it was a shared hold, we're saying you've got 4 tickets across the whole run of your show. We're not saying that. We're saying you've got 4 tickets for each performance. And again, really easy to apply to everything. So now we'll just show how you issue that hold, issue a comp from that hold. So we'll go into our events from our event list. This is what you see here. If you're used to Eventotron, you know that's very similar to what the artist sees. We just happen to be logged in as a festival manager at the moment. But this box in the front is kind of what an artist sees. So there's they can see what tickets are on their show. They can see what's held and what's held off sale, if they've sold any tickets. And from there, so we can see we've got an off-sale hold of press and an event hold, which means the event manager has access to it of artists, friends and family. So if I want to send a comp to someone, I click there, it will show me the comps I have access to. As I say, we're logged in as season manager, so we've got access to both. If I was logged in as an artist, I'd only have access to the artist, friends and family. Season manager can always issue a comp. You don't need to set up a hold for that. There's always a way to get someone in if you need to. And then you just set up a number of tickets, whether they're free or whether you're reserving it to put on the door, and just put in some customer details and send it off to them, and they will receive a ticket and they're ready to go. So that's showing comps and how artists can do it themselves. Going to really quickly go through reporting. It's hard to show you reporting because obviously we can't share existing clients' sales with you, but we'll do the best we can and we'll go through it at fairly surface level. So the most basic form of reporting is what we just saw, and this is what an artist has access to. They can see the tickets they've sold. If the audience members opted in to get mailing from the artist, they can get their contact details there. If not, that will be blank. This is also the place where you can issue refunds from, although obviously an artist can't, but you can go in here and issue a refund very easily to a show. You choose whether you're refunding the whole ticket or the ticket and the booking fee. So that's very simple reporting for artists. Great because they're already used to coming into Eventotron, so they know where to go to find that information. But in terms of more detailed sales reports for festival managers, this is what's in this sales report section. You always get a little graph of sales by date, so you can get an idea of how your sales are building up. Again, it's our example festivals, so there's not a huge amount of data in here. But the default view is by event, but you might want to list the individual performances of that event. You get a little graphical indicator there of how sold out the show is. You might just want the performances. You don't care if they're grouped by event. You want to see when your tickets were bought, so you can see. So we're listing by event there. But what's quite nice is if you actually want purchase date to come first, you can just reorder the order they come in. That's quite a nice way to get an idea of the shape of your sales. Obviously, you can download it to a spreadsheet. You can filter on loads of criteria, like the ticket type or the ticket name, when the ticket was sold, what date the ticket was sold for. You can limit your report to a particular venue or to a particular number of events. Yeah, there's lots of flexibility in there. And you can save your reports, so you can come back to them later. So that's a list of reports we've already made. And if you save your report, you can also set a schedule for when it's sent out and to multiple email recipients there if you want to. So it can be sent daily, weekly, etc. Going to very quickly dip into customer reports. Again, there's not much data, and this is actually a very big section in its own right, so we'll deal with it in a subsequent webinar. But the nice about reports, you can report on customer reports, you can report on customers across multiple seasons. If you've been using Eventotron and Super Boxes for a while, you can see returning customers. You can see on the side there, we've got some that are tagged as members or frequent bookers. You can pull up their answers to your questionnaires. So we can see there's people in the audience with special needs there. And you can jump into a customer, see what tickets they bought, whether they've got credit on their account, whether they've got there's a type of promo code which has a limited number of uses, so they might have one of those assigned to their account. Yeah, as I say, that's a really surface look at that. There's lots more to go into. Okay, so 2 more sections very quickly. So as well as selling online, obviously you want to sell tickets on the door. The way we do that in Super Box Office is we use your own website. So your sales agent is sat on the counter looking at a computer with your website. So basically, if they can buy a ticket online, they know how to work as a counter agent. But what happens is if they're logged into your website, they see a lot more ticket options to give. So you can see here, they've got the holds that we set up. They can issue those on the door if needed to. There's that members ticket, which we said we're going to make available to sales agents all the time. And that's just to show that's the comparable view for a punter using the website. But this person's logged into the website, so they can sell all the different types of tickets. They can get a very quick overview of the sales. They see how busy a show is. They can also search for a customer to find out if the customer is a member, or to dig out their tickets and check they've bought tickets for something if needs be. But yeah, if you can buy a ticket, you can work as a counter salesperson. And then also we use these machines, which you can just get from Stripe for taking credit cards on the door. It's great. It means all your money ends up in the same pot in your Stripe account. And yeah, it's really easy to use. So you just tap and that's an in-person sale with a credit card. It's got swipe and chip and pin built in as well. But yeah, that's an in-person sale made with a credit card. We do have limited support for ticket prints at the moment because we find most people aren't using them anymore, but you can print tickets if you need to. Okay, and the final section, I'm just going to show you our front of house tool. So this example from Vault Festival, this is a tool you can give to your front of house staff, where they can choose a date and choose what venues they may be in charge of. You can see what kind of tickets are sold for a particular performance. So we can see there that that show has customers with access requirements. You set a little summary of the show that might be useful to your front of house people. You can see the audience that are coming there. And again, we've got the access requirements flagged there. It's up to you what you flag. If you've taken other information from an audience member, you can put it in there. You can check them in just by tapping them. See who's admitted there. You can search for them. I should say this is a website, not an app, so any phone can use it. You don't need to faff around. And that warning only comes up once, but obviously there's a ticket scanner built in as well. So you can find your customers that way and check them in. And that I hope concludes the demo. Thank you for listening. So as I mentioned, there's loads more in Supersimple Box Office that we haven't touched on. We're doing another webinar in a couple of weeks' time, which will go into more detail about all these different things that it can also do. But that's the basics from getting a show on sale and some of the things you can do with special offers, reporting, all that kind of thing. But there's plenty more to show if you can stand another 40 minutes of me talking about it. But for now, thank you very much for your time. And if anyone has any questions, please fire away. I see we've got one in the chat already.